Thank you for purchasing the SureShade Power Bimini. This video will take you step by step through the installation process so you can enjoy the full benefits of the Power Bimini. Before you begin, gather the following tools and equipment that you will need to successfully install the Power Bimini: a pencil, tape measure, 5/32 inch hex wrench, 1/2 inch wrench, 2 Phillips screwdrivers, a cordless or electric drill or screw gun, a 3/8 inch drill bit, a 3/8 inch nut driver, wire cutter / stripper, wire crimper, 1/2 inch drill bit, and a Phillips drill bit. To begin, slide the rear strut assembly over the actuator rear receiver handle. Secure the rear strut using 2 1/4 inch hex cap screws. Repeat this step for the second assembly. The proper position of the right rear strut / actuator assembly is generally determined by locating the assembly so that when the top is down, the struts are just behind the rear seats. Too far forward and the top will interfere with the rear seating, while too far aft will provide less shade to the front of the boat. When you have it properly positioned, use a pencil and trace a line across the front of the actuator. Place a tape measure on the pencil line made across the front of the actuator. Measure back a 1/2 inch and 16.5 inches and make marks. Using a drill with a 3/8 inch bit, drill both holes in the center of the frame, but do so with caution. Some boats have wire running through this tube, so drill about halfway through to make sure you're clear of any wires. Each boat is a little different, so the best wire path from the actuator to the helm will be determined by your situation and preference. You have 3 options. 1. Inside the boat's rear frame. 2. Along the bottom side of the boat's rear frame. Or 3. Along the top or side of the boat's rear frame. For options 1 and 2, you will drill a 3rd hole in the top of the boat's rear frame to accept the actuator wire. If you've chosen option 1, this new hole will be drilled halfway through the frame. And for option 2, this hole will be drilled all the way through the boat's frame. Locate this new hole by looking at where your wire exits the actuator and then transfer that location to the boat's rear frame and drill the hole. For option 1, snake the wire through the inside of the rear frame until it exits under the boat. From this point, run the wire to the underside of the helm and fish it up into the helm. For option 2, run the wire under the top frame using fastener mounting zip ties not included to support the wire. Direct entry to the helm from the top frame is normally possible. For option 3, first bolt down the actuator as shown in the next section of this video. Then, use fastener mount zip ties to run the wire along the top or side of the boat frame and into the helm. Assemble the flat washer onto the bolt. Then, using a 1/2 inch wrench, fasten down the strut / actuator assembly to the rear frame with 2 bolts. Position the H-bracket on the rear strut assembly so that the bracket is positioned a 1/2 inch minimum behind the middle strut's H-bracket, towards the rear of the strut, and over a straight flat area of the side railing. The final position of the rear strut H-bracket must be such that it does not interfere with the operation of the Bimini top with the boot installed. Use an electric drill with a 3/8 inch nut driver bit and the included 1/4 inch self-tapping screw to fasten the assembly. Finally, install both nylon bushings into the pre-drilled holes in the H-bracket. First, align the pre-drilled holes in the standoff leg with the holes in the already installed nylon bushings in the H-bracket. And note that the standoff leg has a slight miter that should angle towards the mitered end of the rear strut assembly. Next, align a Phillips screw with a Phillips nut and tighten using 2 Phillips screwdrivers. Begin by inserting the center bows into the already mounted right actuator assembly. Next, insert the center bows into the other actuator assembly until the Bimini width matches the boat's rear frame width, until the standoff legs rest as near the center of the side rail as possible. Now, move the assembly forward and aft until the left actuator is in line with the right actuator. Mark the bow's position and then repeat steps 3 through 5 of this video to attach the left assembly to the boat frame. Locate where on the helm you want the control switch and drill a 1/2 inch hole. Trim the excess wire length and connect the white wire from each actuator to one side of the switch and the dark blue wires to the other side of the switch. Connect the positive and negative battery leads and breaker as shown using the excess wire trimmed earlier. Slide the first front strut over the right actuator receiver handle. Insert the center bow. Next, insert the second or left front strut over the center bow and then over the actuator handle. Secure both front struts using 1/4-inch hex cap screws and tighten using a 5/32 hex wrench. Use the number 10 self-drilling Phillips screw to fasten all struts and bows together, and note that the middle strut assembly gets 2 screws. Repeat this process for both sides. To complete the installation, attach the canvas to the completed framework. The canvas end with the notch goes onto the rear strut. Again, thank you for purchasing the SureShade Power Bimini.